What if I could tell you the magic words that would make people open up and want to give you your manifestations? Would you stick around and listen to it? Come back. Let's talk about this, all right? So, hi, I'm Marna, and thank you for joining me. Now, just imagine for a minute that I could look at you and say a magic word, and you would suddenly want to do whatever it was I asked you to do. Now, imagine I gave you that same magic phrase that you could use anytime, anywhere, and get away with it. So there's actually 6 of them. So let's go through these 6 magic phrases that will make your manifesting so much easier, because you're going into this not only already knowing your manifestation is here, but armed with the exact phrases to use to make other people want to give you that manifestation. So, the phrase number 1. Now, we are alone for this, right? Because I don't want this getting out to the rest of the world. This is a secret between you and me, okay? But phrase number 1 is when you're trying to get in to something. This could be trying to get into a conversation. This could be trying to get into a nightclub. This could be trying to get into the exclusive country club. Doesn't matter. When you are trying to get in and there is someone who is trying to block your way, and this works really, really well if the person blocking your way is, say, someone who's hired to keep you out. You just look at them and ask, well, have you ever made an exception? It's that simple. This will put them in the mindset of thinking about a time when they have made an exception, because everyone has at some point. You can follow this up with a secondary question. Would it be possible to make an exception this one time? Now, the way that this works is you have a person who is trying to enforce a rule set, but they are not invested in that rule set. They do not see it as a matter of their personal life and death if you make it in or not. And again, this could be into a conversation, this could be into a building. It's any situation where you're trying to gain entrance. So by presenting them with the possibility of, hey, this is a one-time thing, and we know it's happened before, but this is a one-time thing. It's just a little bitty thing. It's a small inconvenience. It minimizes how much you're breaking the rule and makes it much easier for them to say, okay, this one time, just don't ask again. Now then, the next one is when you have a situation where you're trying to persuade someone to go along with an idea. Say, I wanted to go on a cruise with a former companion of mine, and the companion wasn't into it, didn't like the idea. Gonna cost too much money, why should we bother? We can vacation just fine here. So, magic phrase number 2. You know, if I were in your position, I'd probably feel the exact same way. What this does is it creates a sense of empathy. It is looking at this person and saying, you are not wrong. You have a valid point, and I hear that. It also opens up for them the possibility that maybe a different perspective than theirs exists. If I were looking at it from your point of view, yes, I would feel the exact same way. Here's mine. It opens up that dialogue. It invites them into the conversation where you can then use the persuasive points to get what you want. By the way, we did go on the cruise. He had an awesome time and absolutely loved it. So it does work out for the best. Just, remember, these are secrets. Don't share them with other people. Don't use them for evil unless you absolutely have to, okay? Okay. Next phrase. After we're done here, how are you going to know you made the right choice? And this is one that I use quite frequently in my coaching. In fact, if you're one of my coaching clients, you've probably heard this. What this phrase does is it opens up your cognitive centers to imagining various possibilities. This is a great phrase to use at the end of a job interview when they ask you if you have any questions, because what you're doing is you are inviting them to consider the alternatives. You're inviting them to consider all of the possibilities, but you're doing it at a time when their attention is focused on you. By choosing to do this at a time when their attention is already focused on you, when they're looking you in the face, that gives you the option of maintaining that attention and positioning yourself as the obvious best option. So on to the next phrase. This actually isn't a phrase so much as it's understanding psychology. This is a little trick that creates an immediate sense of intimacy with anyone. By creating this sense of intimacy, you're increasing your familiarity with this person and thereby automatically increasing their trust in you. And it's super easy. You use their name. Now, my day job right now, I'm doing sales, and I do this technique all the time. Yes, John, I hear what you're saying. If I were in your position, I'd feel the exact same way. But John, let me tell you what we can do. Create that sense of familiarity. This is also really good when you're trying to gain entrance into something. When you're going into a situation where you know you're going to be dealing with someone who is a gatekeeper to keep you out. Say if you're going to be standing in line to get into a popular nightclub, learn the bouncer's name beforehand. When you get there, greet them. Hey Nick, how you doing? Chat, be friendly. And then when you're ready, so Nick, I know this is what you do, but really Nick, have you ever made an exception? Do you think maybe you could make an exception this one time for me? By creating this familiarity, creating this trust, the person you're speaking with is much more inclined to grant the request. Next tactic. This is another sales technique. This is called the yes ladder. And you've probably been on the receiving end of this a couple of times yourself. If you've ever gotten a sales pitch that starts off with asking small questions that are easy yeses. I've also seen this used a lot in dating scenes. If you can get a person to say yes to you 3 times in a row, they are psychologically more inclined to agree to whatever the 4th question will be. So, if you're talking to someone and you really want them to provide a request, if you really want them to give you their phone number, get them to say yes first. Hi, I am. So tell me, I've got this interest in going out dancing. Do you like to go dancing? Have you ever thought about taking a dance class? Would you be interested in going to a dance class with me sometime? That way you know someone. So, why don't you give me your name and a number? There's a dance class coming up this weekend. We can go together and have a great time. It's that easy. By getting 3 yeses first, a person is more inclined to agree to whatever the 4th request is. It's called the yes ladder, and it's that easy to walk up it. It really is. And then this last one, number 6. This is one I used with my kids all the time when they were little. And I'm sure that they would roll their eyes and go, Mom, I can't believe you're talking about us. But the magic word is because. When you use the word because, you're automatically implying that there is a justifiable reason for whatever your request is. So, come home, the kids are sprawled out on the sofa, there's a mess everywhere. Hey guys, can you pick this up? First response is always, why? because I asked you to. That one word creates the psychological atmosphere of, this is your justification. This is why you should do it. And it makes people more inclined to do whatever it is that you've asked. Now, like I said, these are secret techniques. Don't be spreading them around everywhere. Try not to use them for evil, but just between you and me, I won't tell anyone if you do. So, Houpert would like to remind you to please boop the like button. Thank you. I will see you on the next video. Have a great day.